Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into the architecture of human survival beyond strength. It's honestly a fascinating look at how our, let's face it, incredibly vulnerable species managed to make it this far. We'll be pulling from some seriously eye-opening source material to figure out exactly how we managed to outlast the odds.
Okay, I want you to just imagine waking up tomorrow in a truly brutal reality. Literally no houses to shelter you, no grocery stores to grab a quick snack, no medicine if you get sick, and absolutely zero safety nets. You have no guarantee you're even going to survive until nightfall. That was the everyday reality for early humans. The stakes were impossibly high. Every single day was a literal fight against nature, where just one freezing night or a single failed hunt could wipe out an entire group. Which leads us to the core mystery we're unpacking in today's explainer. How exactly did early humans survive? I mean, think about it. We don't have claws, we don't have thick armor, and compared to the apex predators of the time, we certainly didn't have brute strength. By all biological logic, we shouldn't even be here. We were essentially slow-moving snacks for giant cats. But, well, here we are.
Part 1. A world without mercy. Okay, let's dive into this. The dangers of the prehistoric world were absolutely staggering. I mean, early humans were sharing their territory with massive, lethal predators like saber-toothed cats and short-faced bears. And if that wasn't enough, they had to endure extreme, completely unpredictable weather. We're talking brutal, freezing ice age winters with zero modern heating, and unforgiving droughts that would just completely dry up their only water sources. The environmental threats stacked against our ancestors were, frankly, overwhelming. Just let that level of danger sink in for a second. With all of that stacked against them, well, as this quote highlights, survival wasn't random. You couldn't just get lucky every single day. Surviving meant you had to read the environment like a complex map. They had to know exactly which plants were safe to eat, where the animals were migrating, and literally when the weather was about to turn on a dime. That meant relying super intensely on memory, keen observation, careful planning, and experience passed down generation to generation.
Part 2. Survival through teamwork. And this brilliantly illustrates the contrast. Look, animals relied on biological weapons, right? A lion has razor-sharp claws, a wolf has lethal fangs, a mammoth has sheer, crushing size. Humans, on the flip side, relied on behavioral weapons, teamwork, shared knowledge, and shared responsibility. It completely tears down that whole brute strength caveman myth. Our absolute greatest weapons were completely intangible.
Just consider the power of the group in action. We divided the labor. Some folks were out gathering wild plants, roots, and shellfish. Others were tracking animals or meticulously crafting tools. Some stayed behind to protect the kids or care for the sick and injured. And because we shared our food, our knowledge, and our responsibilities, the whole group could survive even if one person had a bad day. If a hunt totally failed, the gatherers still had food. If someone got hurt, the group carried them. We became this unstoppable force, but only together.
Part 3. Fire changed everything. Now, fire started out by solving our most basic needs, giving us warmth during those freezing nights, and, crucially, keeping those terrifying predators at bay. But its true superpower was actually nutritional. Cooking meat and tough root vegetables made them way easier to chew and digest, and that unlocked massive amounts of surplus calories, which literally fueled our rapid brain growth. Ultimately, fire went from being just a basic survival tool to a fundamental social anchor. Picture this. A small, prehistoric group sitting around the flames after the sun goes down. For the very first time in human history, the darkness wasn't complete. The night suddenly had a center. And around that fire, early humans talked. They planned out the next day. They taught their children, and they shared memories. Fire didn't just keep our bodies alive. It actually shaped human society itself. Part 4. The mental revolution. Now, what's really interesting about this is, while physical tools, sharp stones, broken bones for marrow, shaped wood, were incredibly impressive, they weren't the actual miracle. The true superpower was the mental process happening behind them. It was the ability to observe a problem, imagine a brand new solution, and then teach that solution to someone else. The mind that imagined the tool, that was humanity's actual secret weapon. As this quote beautifully puts it, we were reshaping the world instead of simply reacting to it. Think about a lion's claws. They take literally millions of years of evolution to change. But human tools, they could improve in a single generation. We weren't just scraping by day to day anymore. We were actively stockpiling survival knowledge over time, constantly leveling up our tools and our tactics. Part 5. The ultimate survival treat. Think about the sheer scale of this achievement for a second. Humans successfully conquered the entire planet. We spread into freezing cold regions, bone-dry deserts, dense forests, super high mountains, open plains, and coastlines. We marched right into extreme environments that, by all biological logic, should have easily wiped us out. It is genuinely bizarre how a species this physically vulnerable managed to survive and actually thrive in places we had absolutely no business being in.
So the crucial point is adaptability. This right here is the ultimate definition of our success. We overcame environmental dangers through behavior and innovation, instead of sitting around waiting thousands of years for biological evolution to save us. We literally adapted our way out of extinction, and that is the core reason we outlasted so many other species.
But what did this behavioral flexibility actually look like on the ground? Well, they intentionally picked out strategic campsites. They learned to track seasonal food sources instead of just staying in one spot and starving. If the climate suddenly turned freezing cold, we didn't wait around to evolve thick fur, right? We innovated by using animal skins. We were constantly shifting our tactics based on location and climate. We just kept learning, and that incredible flexibility let us overcome pretty much any physical limitation.
Conclusion: the hidden truth of survival.
So here is the real human arsenal. We learned to cooperate, we controlled fire, we created tools, and we passed knowledge forward. I think this firmly and finally dismantles that old myth of the brute force caveman, once and for all. Early humans didn't make it because they were the strongest or the fastest animals out there. They survived because of intelligence, cooperation, and just this relentless innovation. They took physical weakness and flipped it into the ultimate evolutionary advantage.
Which leaves us with this pretty provocative thought. Are we defined by the dangers around us, or by our ability to keep evolving in spite of them? It really completely challenges how we view our history, and honestly, maybe how we view the hurdles we're facing in our modern world today.
Because when you strip it all back, no claws, no armor, no natural weapons, just a growing brain, a circle of people, and the absolute refusal to give up. So the next time you face an impossible hurdle, remember the resilient past that built you. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.